Our relationship with God is sacred and built on trust, faith, and obedience. But sometimes we forget the depth of this, God's presence in our lives, for granted. Don't mess up with your God is a reminder to every believer. Do not test the boundaries of God's grace or underestimate His wisdom. We live in a world full of distractions, temptations, and moments that challenge our faith, whether it's in our personal lives. But messing up with God doesn't happen in one grand moment. It happens in small, everyday choices. It begins with neglecting prayer, putting off time spent in reflection and communion with Him. We let our hearts be consumed by the things of this world, wealth, status, or the opinions of others. These things can pull us away from the peace and purpose God offers. But don't be deceived. God sees everything. Messing up with your God means forgetting who He truly is. It means allowing pride to grow in our hearts, thinking we can make decisions without consulting Him or seeking His guidance. It means thinking we can live in disobedience and still expect blessings. God is merciful, yes, but His grace should not be taken as a license to do whatever we please. Instead, we should always strive to honor our relationship with God, remember His commandments, follow His will, and live in humility. Do not test God's patience or mistake His silence for indifference. He is always watching, always waiting for us to return to Him when we go astray. When you mess up with your God, it's not just about breaking rules, it's about breaking the trust that God has placed in you. When you knowingly sin or disregard His teachings, you distance yourself from the divine plan He has for your life. But the beautiful thing about God is that He is always ready to forgive those who come to Him in repentance. However, the time for repentance should not be delayed. Every moment you live in disobedience or neglect your faith is a moment where your connection with God weakens. Don't wait until the weight of your mistakes becomes too heavy to bear. Be mindful of your actions now and make it a priority to nurture your spiritual relationship. Don't mess up with your God is a call to reevaluate your priorities. Ask yourself, are you living in a way that reflects God's love and teachings? Are you making choices that draw you closer to Him? Or are you compromising your relationship with God for temporary pleasures? Live with purpose. Live with integrity. Live in the way God intended. He gave us His commandments, His wisdom, and His love so that we may flourish. But when we stray, when we disregard the seriousness of our covenant with Him, we risk losing the peace and blessings that come from a life aligned with God's will. So, don't mess up with your God. Stay vigilant in your faith. Protect the relationship you have with the Almighty, for He is more valuable than anything this world can offer. In every decision, every moment of your life, remember that God is your guide. Let His wisdom lead you, and His grace sustain you. Trust in Him fully, live with reverence, and never underestimate the importance of staying true to His path.